rescue mission, and what we learned on our tour was that every other Thursday there's a volunteer that comes and teaches the children how to fish. He's caught tilapia, catfish, a few other big fishes I wouldn't expect to be in this tiny lake, but every other Thursday he teaches them to fish. It's super cool.
Hi, Clayton.
Hello, Virginia. Hey, this is the volunteer garden that was started by a volunteer here at Orlando Rescue Mission.
This is the garden.
The manager of volunteer services here took us on a tour, and she showed us this garden and said it was started by a volunteer who was volunteering here one day and said, "Oh, looks like there's some space for a garden. You think I could start one?" And they said, "Sure, why not?" So it started as a project and for all the children here and the families at Orlando Rescue Mission. And the purpose of this garden is to help the children, learn how to start something and finish it. They go from taking a seed to a finished product, and it gives them a sense of accomplishment, and they can feel good about it. And also they eat the food when it's done growing, and it's just an all-around good project for the volunteers and the people here at the Orlando Rescue Mission.
That's awesome, thank you.
My name is Deb Watler.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. So how long have you been volunteering at the mission?
I am actually a resident here.
Oh, okay.
And I work in the kitchen as part of my program.
That's awesome.
Yes,
That's awesome. How long have you
very
been here?
I've been here as a resident. I've been here a year and a half, and I've been in the kitchen about 2 weeks, not very long.
Do you like it so far?
Wonderful. The people that work here are wonderful, and our chefs are very excellent.
All right.
And I'm administrator and instructor of the Victorious Life program. It's a 2-week program that involves our residents. Residents come on, all the adult residents that come into our campus have to go through this class. It's the first step in a rehabilitation process.
Has it created any gratitude in your own life working with the less fortunate and maybe people down on no luck?
You know what, that's an interesting statement. That's why I wanted you to repeat it. The one thing that's happened here is it's not an us and them. Yeah, I've got 3 major degrees in education, Yeah, I've come from not being able to read at all, flunking my first term in college, to ending up in my last graduate degree earning 19 A's. But because of that progression, I can appreciate where folks have come from. I know where they're hurting. I know what it is to live in a mission. I lived in missions in New Orleans when I couldn't afford the dorms at the graduate school. I know what it is to be addicted, and I know what it is for God's answer to get off of addiction. Many times out there, if I dare use that word, we have an us and them attitude. I don't feel that at all. When I talk with an individual, when I deal with an individual, the great gratification that comes is to know that, as the Apostle Paul said, it's a faithful, as an elderly Christian, a churchgoer, or a man who was a teacher of teachers, he said, it's a faithful saying and deserving of all acceptance, that Jesus Christ came into the world to save sinners, of whom I am chief. The closer I draw to the perfection of Jesus Christ, the more I see my own need, and the less I am judgmental toward those that are in perverted lifestyles, drug addiction, sexual addiction. I don't care what kind of addiction you're talking about. The personal gratification is knowing that I'm the chiefest of sinners, and that I could put my arm around somebody who's dying of AIDS and tell them that I truly, deeply love them, because I know a God who loves them beyond measure. It has counted them extremely valuable, so much so that while all of us were yet sinners, Jesus Christ died for the ungodly. The greatest satisfaction in that is the fact that when I'm in the dark, I don't look so bad. When you flip the light on, Jesus Christ said, I'm the light of the world. When I flip that light on in my life, guess what? I can't come up clean. I have to come up dirty. Say, Jesus, keep cleaning me, keep giving me a bath. Because God, but by the grace of God, where I some of these. It's not us and them. It's we're together as individuals for whom Christ died. That's the greatest satisfaction I experience.
That's a great answer. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to talk to us, Mr. Wellington.
It's awesome for the interview. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very original responses, and good to inspire your story.
And can you state your name and your occupation?
Tanika Geis. I am the volunteer and donor services coordinator.
What vision do you have of the mission in the future?
I pray that the mission will be renowned, world renowned, that when people think of the mission, they think of the great things that God has done through us for people that have come in need. I pray that when they think about the mission, the first thing that comes out of their mouths is, wow, you know, if this is what you need, this is the place to go, and it's the Orlando Union Rescue Mission. And I've said it time and time again, I think that we're the best kept secret in Orlando. 2 years ago, I had no clue about the Orlando Union Rescue Mission.
So I had no clue about the Orlando Union Rescue Mission.
But now that you see it, and I've said it before, it's like a gravitational pull. I don't look at my job as a job. I look at it as an opportunity to minister, to help. Some of the things that I prayed for before I even got this job, and everything that was lined out, God has placed it at the Orlando Union Rescue Mission. So I pray that people come here, they get fed, not just physically, but spiritually.
What is the greatest lesson that you've learned here while working at the mission?
The greatest lesson that I've learned is homelessness can happen to anyone. It's no longer the guy on the street begging for change or with the sign will work for food. It could be you or I. It could be anybody, but through God's grace and because He's so sovereign and through His mercy, we're able to act out our lives and carry out our lives without being faced, without a place to live. There's some people who come in here and they're so broken, and they had jobs, you know, they were doing well, working class people, hardworking people. Sometimes it's through no fault of their own that they land at the mission. Sometimes it's through the bad choices that they've had, that they've landed at the mission. But it's not that guy anymore. It's not the person pushing the buggy down the street. That's what I've learned since I've been here. And I've seen and met some dynamic people who just fell on hard times, you know, who just made that wrong decision, that one wrong decision, and they're here. But I've learned that it could be anyone.
That's wonderful. And how have you incorporated gratitude into your daily life?
I pray a lot. I pray a lot. I stay in my word. I wake up every single day thankful that I'm working on a commission. Thankful that God has given me a place where I can express my faith openly, where I can share the gospel without shame or without whispering or, you know, without hesitation. I have people at the mission, staff, residents, volunteers, donors, who will pray for me, who will pray for my family. And if I'm going through something, I have that support where it's, you know what, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for your daughter. I'm going to pray for your son. I'm going to pray for your husband. I'm protected here. I'm covered here. God's hand is definitely on this place. I wouldn't be here if it were not. But that assurance and that support that I have, that spiritual support, which we all need to go about our day-to-day lives, is vital and it's important. And if you're not praying for yourself, which some days I can't even pray for myself, but I've had more good days working at the mission than I've ever had.
These people instilled so much gratitude in me, the families, the kids, even though we can't video all of it and show it to you because we're not allowed for the family's sake. Just so much beauty. I'm more grateful than I've ever been in my life, and I think if you were to go volunteer there, you would understand what I'm talking about and meet these people because they're amazing, and each one of them would love to talk to you and tell you their story. They're so open and honest, and it's beautiful and amazing, and I'm really glad that my group and I got to experience it. Clayton, Virginia, and Dana did an awesome job with me, and we really had a great time, and I had an amazing experience there, and I'll be back soon to volunteer, so should you.
I really enjoyed my time at the Orlando Rescue Mission. I enjoyed volunteering and interviewing the staff there. I got to perform acts of altruism for people who were in desperate need. Some of the residents there had medical bills, they didn't have a job, they didn't even know where the next meal was coming from. So it was really easy to see how, you know, my sacrifice and my time spent there was making an impact on their lives in a positive way. I was moved by how empathetic all the staff were to the residents. They could relate to the people that were homeless, and they really had a sense of what their needs were and what they were going through, even though they weren't homeless themselves. And there was a strong sense of empathy between the residents and the staff, rather than a social divide. They were very connected in that way, and I found that, you know, really cool. Probably the most eye-opening thing about my experience at the mission was the sense of gratitude that I got from the short time that I volunteered and was there. You know, sometimes in life it's easy to pity yourself and get down on yourself if you have a lot of tests or if things aren't going your way or you get fired from a job or something like that. But being around people, you know, who don't have a job, don't have a car, don't have a dollar to their name, it really puts in perspective your problems and makes them really seem smaller. It made me appreciate what I have, that I have a family that loves me and, you know, a place to lay my head at night.
I felt inspired. Before this experience at the mission, I had never seen individuals who had devoted their lives to being selfless. Regardless of our difference in beliefs, I appreciated how genuine they were and how open they were to being vulnerable with us. The staff wasn't just warm and welcoming. They were reaching out for us. They were inviting to our group. Going to the mission was humbling. It was understandable why the residents would be able to thrive there. I am so grateful to have had this opportunity to learn and grow from, and I now plan to make it somewhere that I volunteer very often. Thank you.